What I said is also not definitive, because God himself cannot be fully defined by the human mind. To say that God cannot be defined is, in itself, a definition. This is why many teachings on divinity emphasize the importance of faith. No matter how advanced man's mind is, he cannot define something that transcends his mind. Therefore, a mental attitude of faith is necessary from the very beginning. Sincere greetings. This time, we enter the 6th series, still discussing the topic of presumption. Some people prefer to use another term, such as prejudice. Regardless of the terminology, it essentially refers to anything that is truly believed, affirmed, or accepted as true. In the previous series, we briefly discussed that presumption or prejudice refers to a belief or assumption made without having directly witnessed, experienced, or encountered it in one's life. Once you have witnessed or experienced it yourself, it is no longer a presumption but becomes a fact or an experience for the mind. Consciously or unconsciously, you may have assumed or believed in something that you have not personally witnessed. For example, your assumption about God. You have never seen God, yet you believe that God exists. Some beliefs even describe God as the greatest, though they wouldn't know exactly how great God is, nor can they prove it. The human mind cannot comprehend it fully, as we are given only limited knowledge. However, you do not deny this belief, do you? You choose to accept it, to believe in it, or to have faith in it. Why do you choose to believe, even though you have not seen, experienced, or witnessed it yourself? This is the essence of faith. When you do witness or experience something, it becomes a real experience for you. Once it has happened and becomes a genuine experience, all kinds of assumptions or beliefs naturally fall away. Often, these beliefs, once released, are adopted by others in the hope of experiencing what you have experienced. The question is, after witnessing God, why does belief then release itself? This happens because you experience an inner transformation and attain certainty. There is no longer a need for affirmation. What kind of certainty? The certainty that God cannot be simply considered to exist, or not exist because God transcends both existence and non-existence. The certainty that God is beyond any dimension known to the mind, while belief resides within the realm of the mind. The certainty that God is beyond everything and cannot be compared to anything in your mind. The certainty that what has been considered or affirmed so far is merely an approach, not the true essence. The certainty that the mind does not reach such realms. This part might be a bit challenging to understand, so just set it aside for now to address in your future studies. Allow the soul to grow and develop naturally, because if it is not yet time to understand, forcing it will be futile. It's like expecting a kindergartner to understand advanced calculus and algorithms. They struggle even to read the material, let alone grasp it, and it will only cause inner conflict. So, just let it be. What I said is also not definitive, because God himself cannot be fully defined by the human mind. To say that God cannot be defined is, in itself, a definition. This is why many teachings on divinity emphasize the importance of faith. No matter how advanced man's mind is, he cannot define something that transcends his mind. Therefore, a mental attitude of faith is necessary from the very beginning. What about the various definitions of God found in different religions? They are not wrong, but it is important to remember that they are only an approach, not the ultimate truth. As I mentioned in the video in part 4, describing the sweetness of watermelon as sugar is just an approach, The sweetness of sugar is an approach to describing, not the actual taste of watermelon. This approach serves as a guide or compass to help humans navigate their spiritual journey. I think these approaches are important, but it is unfortunate when they are taken as the absolute truth. They are just pointers pointing at the moon, not the moon itself. When one of these many approaches becomes your belief, you will naturally want to share it with others, right? The assumptions you pass on to others will strengthen the power of your own beliefs, helping them to materialize. Whether the assumption is mature or childish, the effect remains the same. I will take an example of a belief that still prevails in society today. Some people consider it a superstition, while others take it seriously. This is just an example to facilitate the explanation. You may have heard that some people believe the number 13 is unlucky. Many famous buildings in the UK still retain this belief. For instance, when London's Canary Wharf was rebuilt and the One Canada Square Tower was erected in 1990, the building did not have a 13th floor. Suppose you believe that the number 13 is unlucky, and I also start to believe that the number 13 is unlucky, then your assumption will also apply to me and settle in my subconscious mind. This is called a duplicate assumption. This duplicate assumption will support or strengthen the realization of your original assumption. The more duplicates there are, the stronger the attraction of your supposition to materialize. Conversely, your presumption also reinforces my presumption, which is a copy of yours. Now, both of us share the same belief that the number 13 is unlucky. Consequently, whenever you and I encounter the number 13 in life, we both will expect to experience bad luck. Other people who share our belief affirm and reinforce what we believe. Thus, the affirmations from others will strengthen the power of our assumptions to become more real or manifest. It works both ways, reinforcing each other. So, if one day I stay in a hotel room number 13, or I'm on the 13th floor, or I get the 13th spot in a queue, what comes to my mind is bad luck. According to the law of attraction, I am essentially ordering what I am thinking, combined with the similar assumptions from the people around me. Their order matches mine. Bad luck. This means I am attracting the bad event with my own worrying and adding the worrying from those around me. Especially those who care about me will, of course, emit the same wave of worrying. Once the bad event happens, I no longer doubt it. Why? Because I have proven it myself. It is no longer a belief, but has become a real experience for me. I have experienced it firsthand. I am a witness, and my testimony serves as proof to others who might doubt it. So, was the bad event that happened to me really because of the number 13? Most people, especially those who believe in the superstition of the number 13, will think that the bad event was because I had direct contact with the number 13, but actually, it wasn't. The bad event happened not because I encountered the number 13, but because I assumed or affirmed it to be so. I believe that anyone who comes into contact with the number 13 will soon experience bad luck or a misfortune, and this belief was reinforced by the affirmations of those around me. So, it's not about the number 13 itself. This is what I mean when I say assumptions can significantly affect a person's fate. You can gather many questions about this by looking at examples around you, and the answers will often come back to the nature of the assumptions. For example, why do certain myths prevail in Asia but not in Europe? Why is a particular belief so strong in Africa but not in America? Why does your spiritual teacher's advice seem more effective than your friend's spiritual teacher's advice, even though the core of the advice is the same? Why does a mantra from Mr. Alex feel more impactful than a mantra from Uncle Mo, even though the mantra is the same? Why do the same rituals or methods yield different results? and vice versa? Why do different rituals or methods yield the same results? Why does a method work for David but fail for Michael, even though the method is the same? Why this? Why that? There are many similar questions. In essence, now you understand, it's about assumptions regarding the number 13. What if we change the assumption? For example, if we change the assumptions so that the number 13 symbolizes good luck, what would happen? Would good fortune come instead? I will discuss this in the next series. Until we meet again, thank you for watching, and remember, now that you know how it works, make good use of it if this has been beneficial to you.